Possible progress tonight in the fight against AIDS. Researchers discover substances produced by the human body that perhaps can suppress the AIDS virus. This could lead to new treatments.
I want to be a killing man. I'm going to kill for Uncle Sam. I'm going to kill for
Getting psyched and getting set. The 1st U.S. Armored Division heading to Bosnia. And a story of royal jewels and a common thief.
This is the CBS Evening News with Dan Rather.
Good evening. Important and potentially far-reaching developments tonight in the fight against AIDS, political and medical. As President Clinton hosted leading AIDS physicians and activists at the White House today, U.S. and European researchers reported discovering long-sought natural HIV-fighting substances in the human body. Researchers caution this is not a cure or even a treatment at this point, but it is an exciting line of research that may someday help control AIDS the way insulin works on diabetes. Correspondent Russ Mitchell has the story.
In what some experts are calling very important findings, 2 sets of scientists say they have identified specific substances our bodies produce that may actually suppress HIV, the virus that causes AIDS. A leading AIDS researcher is encouraged, but urges caution.
As a concept, it's important. Whether or not it will be ultimately be able to be translated into something that's relevant clinically to help people, it's still undetermined at this point. We're cautiously optimistic since conceptually this is a very interesting phenomenon and we're going to very aggressively pursue it.
It has been known for years that white blood cells, known as CD8, produced secretions that suppress the HIV virus. Up until now, what was not known was what those secreted products were. Now, 2 different groups of researchers think they know, but other scientists are very skeptical.
We have tried these same products that are being described in the literature and have not found that they have a consistent effect against the virus.
The news comes as the White House hosted its first ever conference to support AIDS research and treatment. President Clinton promised the administration support.
This is a disease, and we have never before had a disease we could not conquer. We can conquer this.
Whether the new findings are a key to someday conquering AIDS will take years to find out. And while scientists say the discoveries are important, they may never lead to new effective treatments. Russ Mitchell, CBS News, Washington.
A related development, 2 new studies in tomorrow's New England Journal of Medicine report the experimental drug ritonavir appears to be useful in boosting the immune systems of AIDS patients. The next step, the manufacturer, Abbott Laboratories, is making ritonavir available for testing in 2,000 patients with advanced AIDS to be chosen by lottery. New discoveries reported tonight on another but very different aspect of human health and medicine, in this case, fertility and pregnancy. As health correspondent Dr. Bob Arnott reports, it turns out much of our conventional wisdom about the best timing to achieve or prevent conception is based on misconception.
Today's study throws cold water on many of the myths surrounding the timing of sexual intercourse as a means of selecting the sex of a baby, birth control, or getting pregnant.
This defines the window of time in a cycle where one can have intercourse and hope to have a conception, and it better than any previous study narrows that window into a 6-day time period.
In a study of 221 women, the chance of becoming pregnant was 0 6 days before ovulation, then rose from 5% 5 days before to a peak of 25% on the day of ovulation itself. The next day, it fell abruptly to 0. Since over-the-counter ovulation kits only predict the day of ovulation, many couples miss their best opportunity to get pregnant. Another myth dispelled by the study was that daily sex significantly decreased the strength and quantity of sperm. Over the course of a normal menstrual cycle, sex once a week resulted in pregnancy 15% of the time, but increased to 37% with daily sex. But the most popular myth dislodged by the study was the ability of couples to select the sex of their baby.
Depending on when you actually conceive, it can help to determine the sex.
The timing of intercourse had no effect.
A lot of couples go through very heroic maneuvers trying to alter the sex selection, and they're probably wasting their time and their energy.
Researchers note that Mother Nature has designed a nearly tamper-proof system to keep the number of males and females in the population equal. Dr. Bob Arnott, CBS News, New York.
And still to come on the CBS Evening News, U.S. troops get ready for Christmas in Bosnia. You will see and hear one American soldier's thoughts on why he's leaving home. And Eye on America. If you're counting on your medical plan to give you peace of mind, especially in an emergency, wait till you hear what happened to her.
The Braun Oral-B Plaque Remover has a unique cup-shaped brush head that removes plaque more effectively than a manual toothbrush, leaving your teeth so clean you can feel it. The Braun Oral-B Plaque Remover cleans better than a manual toothbrush.
For a conquest like this, you need the cushioning and support of a walking shoe and the nerve to look down. Easy Spirit, inside's our walking shoe, outside's the whole world.
Presenting the newest Black & Decker Dustbuster and Morgan the Butler. With twice the power as before, this Dustbuster will pick up practically anything around the house. Morgan, the newest Dustbuster. More power, more pickups.
Hey, Remington, shave this.
The Remington Triple Foil, the only shaver with 3 micro screens, now has a 50% greater cutting rate. If you can grow it, we can shave it.
And for women, a silky smooth shave in or out of the shower. The Remington Wet Dry.
The first U.S. Air Force cargo plane touched down in Tuzla today, carrying equipment and technicians for the U.S. military headquarters in Bosnia. Their first job is to refit the Tuzla airport to receive a massive military airlift. 20 to 30 flights will be coming in each day starting later this month. Eventually, 20,000 U.S. ground troops will be patrolling the northeast sector of Bosnia. They're getting ready to move out from bases all over Europe and the United States. We have 2 reports from Fort Bragg, North Carolina, and from Friedberg, Germany, where correspondent Alan Pizzi is with the U.S. 1st Armored Division.
Killing man, I'm gonna kill for Uncle Sam.
They call themselves the Bandits, and they've got their marching orders for Bosnia. But between the simplicity of an order and the reality of deployment lies a mammoth endeavor. The Bandits' job is to put their heavy armor out where peace is made, between the enemy forces. But they're still 800 miles from those lines, still preparing for the epic trek to get there, and the rigors of a Bosnian winter. Major Mark Needham says the planning is long-term.
When we're there, we want to make this mission happen and make sure the peace comes to the area. So a concern is, if after a year we have done no good, what's the benefit? So we got to make it work.
In the biggest logistical challenge the military has faced since Operation Desert Storm, 40 trains will take the force from Germany to a staging post in Hungary. Then they'll drive into Croatia, cross a bridge U.S. engineers will make over the Sava River, and into Bosnia. As monumental as the effort is to get a bunch of tanks into Bosnia, there's another agenda here too, one summed up by this unit's unofficial motto: bring every bandit home.
But if we act like we can't have injuries, like there can't be a death, well then we don't have our head on straight.
Chaplain Jerry Dapona is helping them deal with the special stresses Bosnia will bring.
Loneliness. 12 months is a long time. That's going to weigh on us.
Okay, that's Sergeant John Fletcher deals with cold weather training.
You don't want to wear tight clothing because you don't want poor circulation. You want to be actually have loose layers so it's insulated.
The Bandits will need another week or so to be ready, and then they say they can move as fast as necessary. Sounds simple, doesn't it?
Meet me down by the railroad track. Meet me down.
Alan Pizzi, CBS News, Friedberg, Germany.
This is Art Rascone at Fort Bragg, North Carolina. The 362nd Engineering Brigade usually builds roads, but today, Bill Hurst and other members of his company were tossing grenades, part of their last-minute training as they prepare to ship out for Bosnia.
I don't think that's right what's going on over there. You know, somebody's got to help stop the killing, and, you know, maybe we could do that and get things restored over there.
Hurst has a personal interest in Bosnia. His grandmother was born in Croatia. His uncles and aunts still live there. He is now torn between the desire to help his homeland and still care for his young family.
He's been kind of crying a little bit when I leave and clinging on to me a lot when I'm at home.
Hurst's daughter Alexa is 18 months old. His son Austin, 18 days. And his wife, Becky, nervous about what Bosnia holds.
I just try and focus on that they're going to be safe and he's going to come home to us. And that's what I keep trying to think.
But this is not a safe mission. The Hearst family, like so many others, wrote a will this week. Bill Hearst Engineer Company is only one of more than a dozen companies leaving Fort Bragg. About 1,500 soldiers. They have been told very little. Be ready to leave by Sunday and be prepared to stay at least a year. A difficult proposition for his wife, Becky.
I try not to focus on a year. I just want to take it a little bit of time. You know, a year's so far away.
Tonight at the base Christmas party, music helped break the somber mood. This will be the only celebrating for the Hearst family this year. But the festive spirit has not broken the fear and sadness that is being felt in the hearts of so many here. Art Rascone, CBS News, Fort Bragg, North Carolina.
To fight plaque, hold your brush at a 45-degree angle. Use strokes half a tooth wide.
Why brush the hard way?
Gentle.
The Norelco Dentaflex is tough on plaque, gentle on gums. The new Norelco Dentaflex.
Nice chapeau, Ed.
I bought these for Loretta, but maybe they'll look better on you. Well, what's this?
Rice Krispie Treats.
Oh, am I crazy, or are these red and green?
You're crazy, and they are red and green.
Now holiday Rice Krispie Treats from Kellogg's.
Puts me in the spirit.
You get any more in the spirit, and it's going to get scary.
Ho, 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 and Snap, Crackle, Pop. What other cereal sounds so good?
It's a delightful surprise. A comfortable tradition. A special moment. It's an original, the Whitman Sampler, with 42 delicious reasons to share. Each piece with its own little secret. Whitman's, American original since 1842.
Something's been overlooked in the design of women's razors. The woman. But there's one razor that adjusts to your legs and underarms, even bikini line. Norelco Silhouette, the first razor designed to shave a woman where a woman shaves.
Call our 800 number when you need help, says one healthcare company. But listen to this former 800 operator.
I would diagnose you. And may I ask if you were trained for that? No clinical training whatsoever.
You heard him. No clinical training. Are the companies saving money at your expense? Eye on America investigates tomorrow on the CBS Evening News.
Confessed killer Yigal Amir was all smiles again today as he appeared in court to hear the charge against him, the murder of Prime Minister Yitzhak Rabin. His brother and a friend were also charged with conspiracy. Amir's lawyer said his demeanor in court was, quote, a reflection of his good nature. Striking public workers tied parts of France in knots again today, but the government is refusing to back down. French unions are protesting the government's plan to freeze wages and cut retirement benefits in a bid to reduce France's budget deficit. Some small signs of movement today, perhaps, in the deep divisions between President Clinton and Republicans in Congress over U.S. federal budget priorities. President Clinton is set to outline his latest budget proposals, but his first move today was to take a pen and veto the Republican budget plan, which the president sees as an extremist blueprint that hits on health care and the poor to bankroll tax cuts for the rich. Rita Braver has our report.
Those new shoes? The White House tried to make the veto a symbolic statement. The president was flanked by families and wielded a pen that President Lyndon Baines Johnson used to sign Medicare into law.
I'm using this pen to preserve our commitment to our parents, to protect opportunity for our children, to defend the public health and our natural resources and natural beauty, and to stop a tax increase that actually undercuts the value of work.
Of course, not all grand gestures work. There was a little problem with the pen.
Can you bring me some more ink, boys?
And Republicans seized the chance to charge that much of LBJ's Great Society has failed.
A Washington-based, Washington spending, Washington bureaucracy, Washington red tape Great Society isn't the answer.
They say the onus is now on Mr. Clinton to balance the budget, and tomorrow he'll unveil his own 7-year plan. White House officials say it will include about $100 to $110 billion in savings above his last proposal. Energy, housing, transportation, welfare will take hits. The president will spare his priorities like education and environment. He's sticking with his middle-class tax cut, too, versus the GOP's broader proposal. And Mr. Clinton will offer no new cuts in Medicare or Medicaid, but will challenge Republicans to back off their $433 billion reduction plan.
It's time to finish the job of balancing the budget and do it in the right way.
But the president doesn't even have a consensus among Democrats, and there's no hint that Republicans will like what will be the president's third budget of the year any better than they liked his first two. Rita Braver, CBS News at the White House.
A news sign tonight that the U.S. economy may be heading for some kind of a slowdown. The government says the index of leading indicators fell 0.5% in October to its lowest level in a year and a half. Still ahead, HMOs denying treatment for mental illness, and from the Lost and Found Department, royal jewels.
So, what'd you have in mind? Barbara? Well, just a little off the top. Plump, delicious Sunsweet pitted prunes. Sunsweet, always a sweet idea.
Maxwell House introduces new Irish cream cappuccino in 4 easy steps.
Delicious.
New Irish cream cappuccino, only from Maxwell House.
Would we claim the Norelco razor shaves closer than ever, without hundreds of tests to back it up? Say our precision groove helps the Norelco lift and cut system shave closer, without proof? No. We wouldn't say it's our closest shave ever without science, sensors, tests. But of all the tests that prove it's closer, the most convincing requires a personal touch. The Norelco razor, our closest shave ever.
Wow. No. I couldn't. Or could I? I know. Or how about just the belt?
Whatever the look you're after.
I couldn't.
Special K is a great help at achieving it. Great toasted taste, just 110 calories, and fat-free.
Well, maybe just around the house.
Kellogg's Special K. Great taste never looks so good.
Or maybe around the block.
If you've been drinking Ensure, there's a little something you should know. Sustacal has more protein, less fat, and about twice as much calcium. No, Sustacal can't add years to your life, but it might help add life to your years.
Who's watching the kids when you can't?
Your 3 kids just walked out with a perfect stranger.
A show every parent must see. 48 Hours Thursday.
Singer Michael Jackson is in a hospital here in New York City after collapsing on stage this afternoon. Jackson has been publicizing and rehearsing a cable television special. Emergency service workers say they found Jackson semi-conscious and he appeared dehydrated and fatigued. Michael Jackson is 37. He's reported tonight in stable condition. In the Washington debate over the federal budget, all across America, the cost of health care looms large. Both government and private industry have increasingly encouraged a turn to what they call managed health care plans, such as HMOs, to cut costs. But sometimes it can be at the expense of the patient's health, even mental health. Wyatt Andrews investigated for tonight's Eye on America.
I knew eventually I'd take my own life, and I was scared.
Last year, Carolyn Brooks says she was suicidal.
I knew I was in trouble. I knew I needed help.
She asked her mental health HMO, UBS, United Behavioral Systems of Rhode Island, if she could see a doctor.
I said, I need a psychiatrist. They said no, that they were sending me to a social worker, which they did.
UBS authorized Brooks to see 2 different social workers, including one at this Rhode Island crisis center.
She let me know that UBS may authorize 2 or 3 sessions, but they wouldn't authorize any more. I told her I needed a psychiatrist, but she said UBS isn't going to authorize this.
After the few sessions that were authorized, her symptoms worsened.
If I had committed suicide, it would have been their fault. Do you think that someone can recover from a trauma in 2 sessions with a social worker?
Reading her benefit plan, Brooks never expected a problem.
The maximum benefit is $1,000 a year. What was your experience?
Try to get it.
Good luck?
Good luck.
Their regular practice was to deny medically necessary care.
This was the way they operated?
Day in, day out.
Is this all the cases?
Last summer, following other patient complaints, Don Williams and Linda Johnson of Rhode Island's health department investigated UBS. In a random audit of 24 UBS patient files, they found 20 patients got inadequate care.
It's very bewildering why a company that makes so much money has complaints like this, people not getting services.
They did it at the expense of people.
This woman, Terry, says UBS also denied hospital care when her manic-depressive sister, whose identity we are protecting, suffered 4 straight days of hallucinations. UBS denied her admission to this Providence hospital not once, but 3 times.
She was not functioning. She couldn't say a full sentence by the 2nd day. They sent us away, and her condition got worse and worse.
Finally, the family paid for her hospitalization themselves.
The insurance company, they found a little niche, taking advantage of the mentally ill. Because the mentally ill can't speak for themselves.
And it's not just in Rhode Island. Across the country, insurance companies are limiting psychotherapy to control costs.
The more money they keep, the more they profit.
Dr. Harold Eist, the president-elect of the American Psychiatric Association, says that too often managed care companies are taking those savings out of treatment.
The way they keep money is by denying people access to care, particularly the mentally ill, because they're the most vulnerable and they're the people that are least likely to fight back.
UBS refused to go on camera for this report, but an official told CBS by phone the company has filed a plan to fix the problems identified by Rhode Island's investigators. The state has accepted that plan, but has put UBS on a 1-year probation. Last year, meanwhile, UBS's parent company, United Healthcare of Minnesota, was among the most profitable corporations in America.
How many people are being lost for their profit? What about the quality of life?
Carolyn Brooks finally got to see a psychiatrist after her family doctor intervened with UBS. UBS also reimbursed Terry's sister for her hospitalization after the family hired a lawyer.
It wasn't one mistake, one person who wasn't doing their job. The whole system was set up to tell us we could not go into that hospital.
HMOs argue that under the old system, doctors profited by giving too much care. But now these patients warn the managed care companies profit by turning them away. In Providence, Wyatt Andrews for Eye on America.
Tomorrow night on the CBS Evening News, Part 2 of Wyatt Andrews' special Eye on America investigation. A real eye-opener about who is making vital decisions about the health care you get or don't get. Well, we don't usually do retirement notices, but this one's special. The Idaho Candy Company in Boise threw a combination birthday retirement party for 96-year-old Vi Brewer as she retired today after 72 years on the job. 72 years dipping, rolling, and wrapping candy and eating it a pound a day, we're told. Her boss said Vi was the best candy dipper the company had. Sweet lady.
It hit me a few hours ago. Achy joints, sore throat, head burning up. It was the flu, all right.
Couldn't wait to get home. Take a couple of Advil and feel better.
Funny, it used to be Tylenol, but it takes 2 regular-strength Tylenol to do the job of 1 Advil. Advil really gets the fever down, and it's gentler on my stomach than aspirin. For aches, pains, even fever.
Nothing is proven to work better than Advil. Nothing.
Advil, advanced medicine for pain.
It's a great time to be silver because you're over 50 and you haven't lost your edge. Now there's a Centrum made just for you. Centrum Silver for your changing nutritional needs. Centrum Silver. It's a great time to be silver.
Want to know a secret? Never stop learning. Well, I just learned something about Depend undergarments. Look, new Depend with the unique cloth-like moisture barrier has been redesigned to put even more protection where you need it most. And that makes Depend better than ever.
That's better.
Yeah, well, you learn something new every day. Depend, because you've got a lot of living to do.
Presenting the newest Black & Decker Dustbuster and Morgan the Butler. With twice the power as before, this Dustbuster will pick up practically anything around the house. Morgan, the newest Dustbuster. More power, more pickups.
Well, 19 days till Christmas now, too early for Santa Claus, but in Washington tonight, the man at the head of the executive branch turned on the lights on the national tree. And finally, further fuel for those who see the British royal family now as a laughingstock. It begins with the question, what could get a woman deeper in Dutch than losing a gift from her mother-in-law, especially when the woman is a duchess and the mother-in-law is the queen? Richard Threlko tonight with the further misadventures of what some see as the now dysfunctional British royal family.
When Sarah Ferguson married Britain's Prince Andrew and became Duchess of York, the Queen gave her a diamond necklace and bracelet worth $500,000, which the Duchess, now separated from Andrew, still wears to fancy parties and things. Although she didn't flash them when she was in New York last weekend plugging her children's book, Budgie the Helicopter. The jewels were in her luggage. So if you had $500,000 in jewels and were flying home to London, you'd hang on to them, right? Not Fergie. She gave them to her lady-in-waiting, who checked them through as ordinary baggage, and when the bags arrived, the jewels were gone. London was beside itself. Not to worry, not with the FBI on hand.
The FBI is very pleased this morning to tell you that we've recovered the crown jewels.
And authorities have arraigned on theft charges a baggage handler, 19-year-old Gilbert Terreo of New York, who they say has confessed to the crime. Was Fergie a little careless? The FBI was, well, diplomatic.
I personally wouldn't do that, because I personally wouldn't own $500,000 worth of jewels.
In London, British court watchers were less forgiving.
I mean, even the Queen, whose baggage is put onto an aircraft and then secured so that no one can get to it, would not dream of putting her jewelry in baggage.
Today, the Duchess expressed her deep gratitude. No wonder. Imagine having to tell your mother-in-law, the Queen of England, sorry, but I've just lost the family jewels. Richard Threlkeld, CBS News, New York.
And that's part of their world tonight. Tomorrow, don't forget CBS This Morning. For the CBS Evening News, Dan Rather reporting. Good night.
CBS News. Have you seen your country today?
In last year's election, you said loud and clear,